Good morning, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place to find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today I am here with Coach Karen Fern all the way from Toronto. We're always so excited to have Coach Karen in the house. She tells us the truth in no uncertain terms. So we're going to say her topic, which she was gracious enough to share with me. We're going to be talking about rich or wealthy. I can't wait to hear this, guys. Hey, look, get your pencil. It's going to be good. We know it's going to be good. Okay, so hold on. I got to put my head down and my pencil up. I'm ready. Okay.
Well, I'm talking today about wealthy or rich or wealthy. And all this month, May, we talk about, can you believe it? Believe it? Can't even speak because we're in the last week of the 5th month of the year. Guys, take this in. The last week, well, not the last week, but just a few more days next week. And we're finishing May and we're going to enter June. And even before I start this topic today, I'm going to let you know we're going to talk about 4 steps in sales in June because we want to pull everything we've been learning all 5 months to close out the first half of the year.
Okay.
Giving you some powerful tools to go research and get yourself in gear. So we're going to do that in June. But today we talk about wealthy or rich because it's going to lead you into going backward, thinking about what we talk about today. Now, all this month, we talk about budgeting. We talk about the practical budget, the immediate, the intermediate, and the future. And we talk about all those things, because money has to have a place to go. It needs its own journey as we go along, because once we understand that doesn't matter how small amount you're putting away at any given time, you're giving away, putting away, and deciding the adventure that coins are going to have, you are starting to build you as a person and then grow your business into unlimited places. I mean, just crazy unlimited places you can't even believe where you go once you sit your butt down, do the work that needs to be done.
Yes. Get somewhere and sit down.
Yeah. It's crazy how things move. All right. And wherever you are, let me just say that too. That's where you are. There are some people who make the same amount of money you make in a week, in a day. The same amount of money you make in a month, in a week. And the list goes on. So you don't have to worry, because once you're doing your work, someday you're going to be that person that somebody else is looking at that is making what they make all month in a day, or what they make for the whole year's salary 1 month. Anytime that happens, when it first start happening, you're like, what happened? But that's because you paid attention. That's truly what happens. Have this happen. So today we're going to look at what makes you wealthy, what makes you rich, and which one you'd rather be.
Oh, okay.
Now, I'm going to say it a little differently. And everything, guys, is always my opinion. Maybe people have others, or they have other facts that they think it's okay. This is my opinion. My opinion is we are born wealthy.
Okay.
We are born wealthy. Every single thing that we need to think that we are wealthy, we were born with. The gifts, the talents, and the acquired skill along the way is what reveals our wealth. Truly, that's what reveals our wealth, because it's there. Every single person. That's why when I hear people talk about passive income, I'm not telling you that it's not true, but I'm telling you it's passive now because of the work you've put in before. So you're just getting paid for that work that you've put in before. All right. If you are having passive income from some type of a business, you're still paying attention with your time, with your watching the numbers, with you listening to the forecast, or you have how much ever people reporting to you. So you're not 100% passive. You are 100% passive when you're dead. You're not doing anything. Once you're alive, you've got some kind of stuff happening if it's your business. If it's because you had a job, you never had a business and you retired, well, you had been putting in that money. You work your whole life now, so you're reaping the benefits of the monies you have put in. So you're passively receiving what you spend the time doing. So if you can take positivity, if you will, out of your head, you'll really understand that work is needed. Because sometimes when you hear about passive income, you don't want to do any work. And hence why so many people have gotten so lazy. Truly, there's so many people who have gotten, no one wants to hear this, but truly lazy and thinking that it's too much to get done. So then they do nothing. But if you really, really, truly want to be rich or wealthy because you know you were born with it, now you have to go in and do the work. God is going to give you whatever you ask him for, whatever prayer you're praying for, it's happening. But you got to go do the physical part of it.
There you go.
You got to get going. And so I want to give you a little story about, let's think about a baby, right? When a baby is born, you're feeding it, you see the baby's trying to hold up its head over and over. Nobody sits and counts it, because you would be amazed how many times a baby try to hold up its head before the head actually stabilizes. And nobody thinks about those things. And then they start turning over. This is over and over. I remember watching my granddaughter, because when my granddaughter was born, I was able to be there to see her being born, something I've never gotten a privilege to see before, right? And I get to watch her because it's my kid, so I'm busy working and doing stuff. But now this is my grand, so I'm getting to watch her go through all these processes, all the stuff that she's getting to do because I got the time to pay attention to it. How many times she turned over. But everybody who come and see her, they're like, oh, she's walking already, she's sitting up already, she's crawling already. You know how much, over 100 times, that she's been doing the same thing. But the reason she's doing it, and people think it's okay when it's your child or your grandchild, is because you're saying to yourself, well, they don't have anything else to do, so that's why. But it's not true. We also, when we are learning something new, we got nothing else to do but learn the thing that we're supposed to learn. I hope people hear this. You ain't got nothing else to do because you're learning sales. You ain't got nothing else to do because you're learning marketing. You ain't got nothing else to do because without those two things, you ain't got no business, by the way. And then you need to learn money and all the feelings it brings with it. And you ain't got nothing else to do other than to learn money. I said this in a group the other day, and a lady said to me, what do you mean when you say, if you don't know money, you shouldn't buy was a program? And because when you buy the program, here's why I say that. I said, if you don't know money, don't buy the program. Stop whining. And everybody, well, I got a whole bunch of people behind. I was like, why? Because when you buy the program, and if you broke and you only had $2,000 on your credit card and you bought the program for $2,000, whatever, the program is $2,000, but you probably need another $1,000 or $2,000 to really make the program work for you.
Oh.
And most people don't say this, and the seller wouldn't tell you this. You have to have your own common sense or sense of some sort. So therefore, once you're in the program, you're going to realize if you don't know anything about anything, you're going to need to buy stuff. Now you got no money to buy stuff. So now you're upset that the program is not working for you because you can't buy the stuff that is.
Okay, let me see if I can make this analogy here. What I hear you saying is, if you're going to take tennis lessons, you sign up for the lessons, you get there, you have no outfit, no racket, no balls, no equipment, but you paid for the course. So you sit there and you listen to him talk about, the coach talk about what you should do.
Yep.
Is it basically the same thing?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're on point.
Okay. I get it now. Okay.
And then you're frustrated and you're like, this course didn't work for me. But that's because you weren't prepared. I took dancing classes and I didn't have my shoes. When you said that, I clicked right away. I was doing ballroom dancing. I didn't have the right shoes. And my lessons wasn't as great. And the instructor pulled me aside. He says, Karen, you can't have your 6th lesson without the shoes. Here's a bunch of places to buy. Don't worry about what looking like online. You need to go in, get fitted with these type of shoes. Here are the 3 places I recommend. You can go anywhere, but here's the 3 places I recommend. Because although online is great, when you're buying dancing shoes, you want to go and get it fitted to your feet. And if they don't have your size, take something I did not know. They will get you your size.
Oh, okay.
And this is important because your partner also have on his best shoes. And let me tell you what was happening to me and my partner. I could dance. I'm a great dancer, but I didn't have the equipment. So the whole time I'm with the guy. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, because my shoes is not hugging my feet as well as it should. And it's doing a little bit of a slipping. And he has to dip me and move me and spin me.
Yes.
You understand? And he's also not wanting to do it because he's afraid the shoe fall off and hit somebody else. It's not me and him alone in the classroom. It's about 12 of us. Partner up. Big hall, yes, but there's a lot of us. And I didn't have to, but I did sit out and watch, because I was realizing after the instructor.
You were causing a hazard.
He said, you can stay, but I felt so bad. And I step aside, myself and another young woman. We weren't equipped. The rest of the people asked the question. They I am assuming they probably asked him, do I need a proper shoe? And he probably said yes. Us two silly ones never asked the instructor anything. We signed up, we paid our money, and we showed up. And we looked around and we realized
I'm not equipped. I'm not properly equipped to really benefit from this class.
Exactly. And that's what happens. And so now you're tormented inside about the money, and you're whining, and you're carrying on about the class, but you're not equipped to take the class. You're not ready. And I know when I first taking classes online and I was in classes that I wasn't ready for, I would be really frustrated with myself. And I would be saying, like, why don't I can't learn this? Why can't I just apply it? What is holding me back? But I missed a lot of steps in between, and the finances wasn't there to buy the stuff. I felt like they were selling me something and asking me to spend more money. I'm going to put it this way.
Like you're being upsold.
Yes. But the truth was, I didn't want to hear what they were saying to me.
Because I knew nothing else about money.
Yes, I was in my own circle of no.
You hadn't budgeted for equipment.
Exactly. So I had to go back and do the books and do what was needed. That's important. So can you imagine? God has equipped you with wealth. He said, here you are. This is what I'm giving you. This is what you're going to do with it. And you're being fed what to do with it, but you're fighting against it all along the way. And then at some point, the floor gives out. Stuff happens, as life does. And because you haven't planned your budget, you haven't put aside money, you haven't done anything, you're starting to go down the drain, and you're like, I can't believe this is happening to me. I can't believe this is not working for me. And I'm going to tell you why we are wealthy. We're born wealthy, because it didn't matter what country you're born in and how poor you are. When we hear those stories of those people who are born in like the worst place and the worst thing has happened to you, but they come out on top and they're making money, you say, how the person did it? And you're amazed. That's because they took what's deep inside of them and they used it. Now, I'm not saying that they consciously know, because I didn't know we were poor until I know we were poor. And taking what is inside of you and actually using what's, as you guys say, in your hand.
And you have in your hand.
That's it. That's all you got. That's your gifts and your talent right there, in your hands, in your head. And once you start using it, it's like God opened the floodgates, and all of a sudden he started giving you these opportunities. Now he's still watching. So the reason you don't get more is because you're messing up the opportunities that he's giving you. He is messing up the opportunity. I tell people, when I first started selling, I made my few dollars. When I made my first $20 for all week long, I was like, I can make $20 a week. Now, I had no sense of what people made, but to me, $20 was big, because I would have $5 here or $10 there, but 20 consecutive $20, Monday to Friday. And then on the weekend, I had an opportunity to make double that, because I got more hours in my day to sell. And I recognize
that's $1,000 a month.
Terry, can I tell you, I was so excited. I start banking that money. I start taking care of that money. And people will say to me, even a cousin come and spend the summer with us one summer. And she said to me, Karen, we could do this and what do you do with all the money? What are you keeping it for? And I said, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but I'm sure I'm going to do something great one day with it. And she would bother me about it. I'll say, I'll give you $20. And she was so happy. I said, but you're going to have to do this, this, and this, and this. For the 21. I've been this way forever. Let me not lie. We were saving. She didn't mind. But I'm telling you, so of course, he has given me more knowledge to keep expanding that little bit of money. So I'm selling Monday to Friday at school, and I'm coming in the afternoon to do my homework and do nothing. But because my clientele had grown, now I'm selling also in the afternoon after school. So I'm with my homework on the stairs. My little stand is in front of me and I'm selling. I stopped worrying about if it wasn't sold out at school, I could bring it home and people will still buy all the way to 7:30 in the evening. People will still buy from me. So now I'm a full-fledged business Sunday to Sunday. And I got bold enough and I asked my grandmother how much she was making per week. And when she told me, I could not bring myself to tell her that I was making 3 times her money, because couldn't tell her.
Making more money than grandma.
I couldn't tell her. I couldn't tell her because I learned at school that, what you don't do to adults, you can't try to up them. And we had this class where they're talking about, in my home economics class, how to behave and da-da-da-da. And I had grown to not tell people about my income. It was just something.
I think that is a great practice. You don't necessarily need to share with everyone what your income is, or that in some cases that you're even in business.
Exactly.
Before you have some serious success. Because people can talk you out of your business venture before you even get started.
Yes.
I want to say good morning to Jerry and Cecilia
morning,
and everybody else watching over here on the live stream. Yeah.
I just wouldn't tell. It wouldn't be a conversation. I behave as though just as I was. I used to get I think about $6 a week for my
allowance.
Cheap then, yeah. So I buy tickets out of my lunch money, and I just behave. It had stopped. I'd stopped getting that kind of money over time, and I just had to limit myself to presenting to me the same $6 as though the rest was not there.
All right.
I would just save it, So I started building my wealth a long time ago because now I've got this money. And then, of course, as I said, God just allowed things, because here what he did. Although I lost the money, he brought somebody to the school and they came to teach us about banking and teach us about compound interest. That's where I first learned about compound interest. And because I had to keep a few classes, I was able to get into the senior banking class, and boy, I was in heaven. I got into that class and I just soaked everything in. I asked so much questions, and finally the lady said to me, "Why do you want to know so much? You're not even in high school yet." I again zip it. I never told her that I sold anything or what I did. I just said I'm interested, and I started saving. And I started putting the money, and I requested it. I wanted it to be where I can get compound interest. And they called my grandmother and they said, "This girl is saving a lot of money. Where is she getting it from?" And my grandmother said, "Oh, she sells a few bit of nonsense. I don't think it gives her a lot of money, but it keeps her quiet and she doesn't bother me. So good for her. So whatever she's making, it's from that nonsense that she sells." And once I was signed off, I could have put whatever. So I put a little bit in the classroom so that nobody is getting all excited there. And then I'll go to the bank on Fridays and I'll put the bigger portion. So it's just me and the teller. And then I don't have to explain a whole bunch of things to anybody else because I had the account already. So I'm allowed to do that.
Okay. So then everything you do does not have to be public.
No, I feel like it doesn't have to be. I mean, if you want to tell people, it's fine. But I find when you don't, there's a lot less in your ears. There's a lot less in your ears. You don't have to listen to a lot of people tell you what you should do and where you can buy and that sort of thing. Everybody knew that I went to school and I sold and and I help other kids, and that was that. But talking about what I had, I lived like everybody else. Whatever other kids did, I did. I didn't do anything extra.
Oh, Warren Buffett, I see. He kept his same lifestyle.
Mhm. I kept my same.
The millionaire next door.
I didn't do anything different, and we still lived poorly how we were. I learned to grow stuff. I would grow stuff. I still did everything that we did. And when we moved, I took a break. And then when we moved from the area, I took a break because I wasn't sure about clientele. And I gave myself a little bit of time, and I started back, and I had more clientele, more people who buy a little bit at a time until I grow it back again. And I just kept at it. And that's why I believe we were born wealthy. We just need to use the thing. Now, I'm telling you the story because, listen, I was only from primary school all the way to high school. I didn't at that time had anything formal, any business training at the time, any know-how. This is me listening and working through and doing all the things that I think that I could do to keep growing myself and getting to the place that I want to be at, and looking at other people and noticing people in business, particularly how they behave, how they carry themselves. The ones who rarely is moving. Those are the ones my eyes were on, the people who, is moving forward. And so, I keep growing. So you're born your wealth. And what makes us rich? What makes us rich? Richness is, part of it is money. Part of it is money, but part of it is your being. Your being. When you're rich, when you're wealthy, and then you start getting rich, part of it is money, but part of it is your being. If you can feel and be in anywhere you want to be without feeling the need to have money, you're rich. This is hard. I'm not going to lie to you. This is hard. You're being and you're feeling like you don't need money. I know you need to buy things, eat stuff, pay for stuff, but you have to get to this place where you feel like you don't need money. When you don't need money, it's easier to acquire money. Need actually push away the money. Need, because you get desperate. You get clean. You get, it's not like you mustn't be hungry. So it's like this thin line that you're fighting. So you get yourself to this place. It's like, okay, let me explain it this way. If you're hurrying up to do a lot of work to get something, if you would slow you down, you will get there faster. But when you tell somebody who's never done it, they don't understand, but they have to experience it themselves. So if you go to clean your living room and you say, I'm going to hurry up and do it, I beg of you to step back and say, I'm going to take my time and get this living room done. And you will get it done.
Jerry says, so true. So true.
You will get it done. You'll not be exhausted when you get it done. And you'll feel really good about getting it done because you have this wonderful, clean place to be in. And you take all of that away when you're hurried up to get it done because now you're exhausted and you can't enjoy it.
Wow.
Slow it down. And the same kind of behavior when we talk about richness. Because when you realize how wealthy you are, you're uncomfortable. That skill, that in your own skill, as I said, you're beginning to understand your richness. You're not rushing around for anything and you get more time. Most people say, I don't have enough time. You get more time for yourself because you're starting to understand it's going to happen. My mom had this saying, she liked to say, once you work, you're going to be paid. So don't worry about it. You're going to be paid somehow. No matter what, you're going to be paid. That always had been her stuff. And I'm not going to lie, when I was younger, it used to irritate me because I'm like, she's working so hard, but she's not really getting paid. And I would be fighting up with her, but she is getting paid. Mind you, she wasn't really great at deciding where the money goes and what have you.
Management.
And that was okay because God gave me to her. So I was able to.
Yeah, I love it. You were able to help with that.
Yeah, I was able to hop in and say, Mom, we can't do that. Like, that's not happening. She would be like, I'm like, nope, we can't do that. That's not happening. She was a good sport about it. Every so often she'll say to me, I didn't like it, but I could see your success. So even though I didn't like it, I could see it. When she wanted to travel, this one time, I remember she wanted to travel. She didn't have a passport. And she's working so hard. And I said to her, if you want to get your passport and you want to buy the ticket, if you allow me, I'll show you how. And this is the first time I actually did work with her with money. And I sat her and I told her all the steps she's going to take. And I said, it's going to take you 3 months. And she says, 3 months? I've been fighting up to do this kind for nearly a year. You mean you're right here? I said, but he didn't tell me. So I set it up for her. In 60 days, she had her passport money. She was able to buy the ticket. We just shift things around and get things lined up.
You see, that's why it's so important to have an accountability partner, because other people can see things in you that you can't see, and you can see things in them.
Yes. You know, so I just see where the money was going. I see what she was doing. I said, okay, this is easy. We can fix this.
You know what? That is a whole service right there. Let me help you. Let me show you how to find the money to go on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, if you're looking for money to go on vacation, you need to contact Coach Karen and pay her for a counseling session. I'm telling you, all throughout my children's young life, we never took a family vacation because I was never able to really save for that.
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean that they didn't have experiences, because I would send them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And you excluded yourself.
I excluded myself. You know what I mean? And especially once they got old enough to fly.
Yeah.
I would, send them back east and stuff to see their grandparents and things. But I would take them and I would come back and go back to work. Drop them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
Or I would send them to camp.
Yes.
So they had a lot of experience.
The experience.
But family vacations, something that simple, something that will bond us together and create memories.
Because it really does. It really does. I remember when I take the whole family on a cruise, and I told the guys, I said, we're going on a cruise. And everybody was just freaking out. They're like, Mom, you taking all of us? I say, yeah. And you're going to get your spending money too. Oh, the kids just went berserk on me. And, we're planning it. I'm telling them. And I told my kids, I said, what do you like to do? Like my daughter first was like, Mom, we got to do all that. I said, yes. We got to know, because we got to buy you clothes. Like, we got to get you arranged and set up. So I had these long lists going on. Oh, yeah. I'm a lister, guys. So the list was there for each and every person in the family. What is necessary? Clothing, swimsuit, and how much money they're going to be able to get in their hands to move about and go about. I'm going to pay for the big items, but I want them to have their own money so that they can decide what to spend. Let me tell you, my 2 young ones came back with money.
Isn't it amazing when the money's in their hands, how differently it's treated?
Exactly.
I noticed that when my kids got 10 and 12, we went from Mom paying for it to, okay, here's an allotment. We're going shopping. Now they didn't need brand name shoes. Now, but they had 7, 8 pairs of shoes. I'm like,
yes. They stretched it out, because I'd go to the booth and they'll say, I want a drink, and I'll buy it. And I say, you know what? I'm going to load up your cards, because on the cruise, you can load up their cards. And I'll load up their cards with X amount of dollars. And they'll say, Petru, what are you doing? She's, I'm checking to see how much left over in my account. Okay. Dictating what she buys and what she doesn't buy. And then when we off the cruise and we're in an island or whatever, of course, they had their money in them, and the 2 of them are bumping head to see what they're buying and what they're not buying.
Okay. And accountability partners.
Yes. They came back with the money. So, we are Bella. We are born wealthy, and our richness, it really starts with our being. Because when that's happening, all these other thoughts come about, all these things you can do, all the things that can happen. I tell people, if you're working for money, and that's what you're doing right now, then anything you want to do, you can do. It might take a little longer, but you just plan for it. That's what we talk about budgets before this segment. Telling you get everything set up, you plan out everything. And then all of a sudden, you are able to see what's happening. If there's debt going on, how long it's going to take you to pay off that debt, to enjoy certain things. How you invest, what you will invest, how could you handle the investment, what's going on, all those different things you have to formulate for yourself. And once it's hard initially, let me rephrase that. It feels hard. It feels hard when you sit down to do it. But once you do it, once you get through it, once you pass through it, get out a bunch of paper, maybe 6 sheets of paper, start writing. Okay, get it out your head. Third paper, you're all still upset and mad and saying all kind of crazy things. And your fourth paper, now you're starting to say, okay, let me see what I can pull from the crazy 3 paper, and let me start getting this really down pat. And paper number 5 is looking better. By number 6, you're taking everything and you're streamlining it. You're getting things set up. When I went on my first cruise, my friend booked the tickets for me and everything, and it was just me and my husband, it was just couples cruise. And I said to her, tell me what is, I've been on a cruise, give me the experience. She told me. I went online myself. I checked out all the things you need, how many nights is is dress up nights, how many nights is formal nights. And I had my outfits accordingly. I made myself a whole line of clothing, and I was looking sharp at the cruise. I took my husband to the store. I said, this is what we're getting for you. Didn't matter how you argue. This is what we're getting for you, because we're going to look good together there.
Wow. Well, it's fantastic. Jerry said the same thing. She said, yes, she did that with her kids also, put the money in their hands.
Yes.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm telling you, you can live out. You don't have to be filthy rich to live the life you want to live for yourself, the things you want to give to your children, and the things you eventually, if you got grandkids, that you want to pass on to them. You can give them all this beautifulness by just starting looking after yourself first. You really got to look after you. And but you really got to look after you, okay? You got to do some good stuff for you first. I will say, I didn't recognize this. A friend of mine, she's dead now. And she said to me, she says, Karen, if you don't look after you, you're no good to your kids. Don't listen to anybody who said, look after the kids. Look after you, and the kids will benefit tremendously. And that's why I preach that in my courses. When I coach people, I'm like, what are you doing for you? The minute they start talking about their kids or their husband or their mother or somebody, I'm like, what are you doing for you? Where would you like to see you? You're not selfish. You're caring for you, that person in front of you. And then we look after all those other people,
Cecilia says your husband is a lucky man. Yes, he's married to a planner, somebody who plans things out. She just get her list going. Yeah.
I'm a listener.
I find that when you empower people with the opportunity to quote unquote make a list or whatever, that they do buy into what's going on around them.
And they notice things that they would have never noticed before. It didn't matter what was going on. People would always come to me to borrow money. And if I tell them I don't have, they'll say to me, Karen, you don't have money? I'm like, I don't have any money. I don't have money to do what you might want to do. I have money because they have plans for the money. That's really my core in telling anybody. I don't care if you work for $5. You need to have 5 different plans for the $5, $1 for each plan. Okay. And then send them marching on to do whatever it is they're going to do in that plan. That's it. If you can't make anything, if you don't have the skill to do anything, buy something and then resell it. Mark it up 50% or become. Another thing I don't think people talk a lot about, and I'm not getting to that today, but affiliate, sell for somebody. Like when I get my program out and going, if you want to be affiliate on my program, you sell it, you get a percentage of it. You tell people about it. That's another way that people can make money without actually investing their own money, right?
Yes.
All right. So that's what I have for you today.
Guys.
That's it, guys. But next week, we're talking sales. We're talking about how to bring in the money.
Okay. So you want to be here for next week. Thank you so much for helping us to realize that we really are wealthy, that we're born wealthy, and that money does grow on trees, people.
Thank you.
All right, with that, I want to remind you that you can find Coach Karen at Profits in Daily, and you can follow her on the web, on her Facebook page, etc. Just look for Coach Karen Fern, and that's Karen with a C. Yeah. I'm looking for the banner as you see. Here we are, Coach Karen Fern, Profits in Daily. So follow her on Facebook, and if you need that family vacation that you have never had an opportunity to take, you might want to book an appointment with Coach Karen and find out how to make that happen. She'll help you find the money. So with that, we just want to thank you for tuning in. We want you to remember that tomorrow we'll be talking happy, healthy habits with Robin Shimizu and friends.
Mhm.
Friday, we'll be here talking tech in English with the Tech Divas. And in the meantime, remember to go to the front of your own line. Coach Carol was talking about that today.
Yeah.
If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
Nope.
All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Thank you,
Thanks
guys.
again for tuning in.